I'm a philosophy major at Brigham Young University. I think a question I get a lot, especially in a circle of, religious people, is kind of, maybe especially with Mormons, is, why, how do you make those two compatible? How are they, how are your beliefs in the gospel congruent with the philosophy? And I think, our take on philosophy in general is that it's something we use more as, people, that rational people and thinkers try and, use philosophy as a way to show how God doesn't exist, and kind of a tool for them. And sometimes that's true. I think a lot of times it's not, though. It's something that I've come to appreciate about the gospel of Jesus Christ, is that it encompasses all truth, right? And learning about the harmony, or the way that faith and reason work together to help us draw near unto God, is something that has certainly helped to strengthen my testimony of Jesus Christ and the gospel in general. I believe in Jesus Christ. I believe in God, and I'm a man who's religious, and so. But at the same time, I believe in reason, and I believe in thinking, and so I think sometimes people, oftentimes in the church, or people maybe that are not religious, will look at people in the church, in any church, and kind of think that they're somewhat of bigots, or they don't use their brain enough, that they're just so focused on faith that they're missing out on what's really happening, because they're not thinking enough. Whereas the people in the church look at people who aren't religious and say, well, these people aren't exercising enough faith, right? And they're not believing enough, and they just want to think about things all the time, and they're missing out on a lot of things in that way. And so I think in life, for one of the ways that we find happiness and that we find truth is by combining those two things, and that's often sometimes difficult. We have to learn, and we want to learn about things and grow and gain knowledge and deal with some difficult issues sometimes that are hard to think about, but at the same time we want to have faith in God. I think I've found in my life that they are compatible, and it does take a little bit of work to figure these things out in your mind and in your soul. But as I've come to learn more about God, I found that He's an extremely rational person, someone in whom I can trust, and in whose laws are constant and real, and that there's really nothing about His plan for us that's willy-nilly or mystic, as we sometimes look at these things. It all makes perfect sense, and there's perfectly good explanations and reasons for why everything has to happen. What's difficult is that we sometimes don't always have the answers all right now, and that's where we have to exercise faith in the Lord that things are going to work out. I find that as we exercise faith, that we can gain knowledge, and that's something I think we need to learn, that it's okay to learn in that way, that through trusting, through searching, that and doing things that learning in maybe a little bit different way than how we learn about biology. We can learn about God and gain spiritual knowledge that's real, that's unchanging, and come to know with a surety that He lives, that He loves us, and that there's a real plan for all of us. So I guess my my hope would be that in the world, we can get along, and that people, who look at, issues that the way the church maybe handles them can take some time to examine maybe why we believe in these things, and maybe try some of these experiments for themselves, learning about the gospel, reading the scriptures, praying, going to church, and seeing if there are things that are there that can, help you gain knowledge beyond what our natural eyes and our natural ears can learn. I know in my life I found that that's been something that's only been a further ennobling experience that's added to and been congruent and supportive of the things that I learn in means that are not non-spiritual, in textbooks and other things, and that's been a happy experience. It's something I believe has helped me to become a better person, to become a happier person, and to be able to help others more in my life to find purpose and meaning. I know that when we do those things, that we'll be blessed, and that we'll be able to draw near unto the Lord, and we'll know that He's really there.